The 2022 video game prediction show. We decided to each pick 5 predictions that we ordered from most confident to least confident, and we're going to go back and forth on this. And at the end of the year, we want to see who got the most right. Would probably be none of us because we'll probably get 0 right.
I'll probably go 0 and 5.
Yeah. We'll see, though. We'll reflect on this later. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. So, Breath of the Wild will be shown at Nintendo's E3 press conference with a title and a date. And that date will be March 2023.
Pretty good. Pretty solid. You want to predict a title?
No. It'd be like, I have no idea. The darkness underneath or something.
The gasp of the underground instead of Breath of the Wild. No, that's pretty good. That feels pretty solid. I can say that most confident. The date, though, that's very specific. I mean, it fits where it was last time.
All right, so it's my turn.
Yeah,
I just want to be candid here with everyone. I feel so lost when it comes to these predictions. I have no idea what's going on. But this is my most confident, and it's going to piss Eric off. But I think Gotham Knights is going to bomb.
Bomb in sales or reviews?
Both.
No.
In every way imaginable. It's
Okay, well, what's the benchmark for sales in terms of bombing? Like, I don't know what... Because you could probably say
I don't know either.
Arkham Origins... quote unquote bombed in sales like compared to the rest of them. I'd say that's the benchmark. If it sells more than Arkham Origins, then it didn't specifically bomb. But reviews, I think, is the better way to go. It's more
I think it'll sell more than Arkham Asylum. That's it.
I don't know. If you're talking lifetime, Arkham Asylum probably did really good. Like at launch, though, yeah, it would probably sell better because it's built that rapport. But I think reviews is what we're going at. If it gets lower than a 7, like on average, okay, if the Metacritic is below 70, then I'm calling that a bomb.
I'm going to say it's going to be over 80.
I like this.
Over 80?
It's a face-off.
Sure.
It's going to be below.
Write it down because I want to see if I'm right.
If I'm really predicting
Over 80?
that, I think it's in the 75 era, somewhere in that range.
Specific, I'm going to say 83.
Oh my God. I'm thinking 60s.
Ain't no way. There's no way.
I think there's way.
There's definitely a
If it
way.
comes out and just is trash.
I think it could be like a 68 type of game. Like,
This is what I'm predicting them from somebody who's reviewing it. It has a lot of systems it's trying to introduce, and it doesn't hit the mark on any of them.
yeah, you know what game did that? Cyberpunk. Didn't review well.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk. I'm not saying that's probably not a good
Yeah.
It doesn't have the expectations that Cyberpunk has, so we'll see.
Yeah.
My first one is Elden Ring will be the 2022 Game of the Year winner at the Game Awards this year. And that's why it's my safest one. I feel like I think it's permissible because God of War is set to come out this year, and there's a chance that Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. But okay, I'll throw in an extra flavor to that. Even if both of those games come out this year, Elden Ring will be the Game of the Year winner.
Ooh, ballsy. Beginning of the year, too.
Yeah.
Like it comes out.
Yeah, I don't know. That hasn't really held up things in the past. They don't generally go too far off that. I mean, Breath of the Wild. But yeah, it's a long tail. We'll see. We got a lot of time in between now and then, but I'm pretty confident in that one. What's your 2, Eric?
We will get a trailer for Resident Evil 4 Remake this year.
That's a good one. I like that.
And I almost put they will split it into 2 parts, but I don't think they will.
Could be. I don't know that.
It's a longer game than the other 2 they remade, so I could see it going.
I wouldn't be mad at it, honestly.
No,
Like
it's a long. I mean, it's a good sized game.
It makes more sense to me than the remake of 7 being 2 or 3 parts, however many ends up being. Oh, Final Fantasy 7.
What's the gameplay mechanic that they changed? That they said that I just saw a headline somewhere.
I think it's going to be losing the tank controls. It's going to play more like 2.
Oh.
Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Yeah, why would you remake a game with the worst controls ever?
Yeah.
It's going to be just like 2 in terms of how it feels, which is so exciting because I like that game better, other than the gameplay was
I'll say
garbage.
4 is my favorite story, but the gameplay of 2 is so solid over 2 Remake.
I just can't wait to hear Leon again.
Leon!
That's
I
a good
think
one,
that's
though.
a set one.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. This year, though, I don't know. I mean, revealed,
I'll
not
say
coming
revealed
out this year. Yeah.
Okay, and this is my second one. The second one I'm most confident about, and the rest of them are just kind of a spitball. The Uncharted movie will do good, and it will push forward a Jack and Dexter movie because there's already, talks of it. Tom Holland already wants it, and there's already a guy who wants to direct it, so they just need to figure out how they're going to do it. I don't know how they'll do it, but I know that it'll probably get announced this year, but it won't.
Hopefully, it's animated. I don't want.
Yeah,
it would be so corny to see that.
I don't want to see a live action Jack and Dexter.
But I'll go ahead and spin this into my next one rather than change mine because my number 3. Well, I guess it's not my next one. This is your 2, right?
Yeah, this was my 2.
Anyway, I'll go ahead and say my number 3 was that Uncharted will break $1 billion globally. And I feel pretty confident about that one.
Oh, could a prediction be it's the highest grossing video game movie?
Yeah, but I don't think it will be because World of Warcraft made a lot of money for no reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
hold
It's
on.
not horrible.
Well, World of Warcraft did really good out the gate and then died, so it may not have gotten the end numbers that I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But early on, it was breaking records, and then because it isn't great. But like you said, it's not horrible, but it's not great.
Yeah.
But what was my number 2 though? Yeah, so that was my number 2. You go ahead and do 3, Eric.
Okay, my number 3 is Silent Hill Remake will be a PlayStation exclusive. The announcement of PlayStation buying Konami.
Damn, is that 2 predictions in one?
It kind of rolls together.
Yeah.
It's not a bad. I mean, I think Konami's more like that's the more surprising part of it. Them buying it, not surprising, but it'd be a good prediction to have gotten right. But I think Silent Hill feels like a PlayStation exclusive, regardless of if they buy Konami. I don't know why it just doesn't feel like it'll go everywhere. Did the originals go on Xbox? Not at launch, I don't think.
Launch.
No, I think they did like the.
Yeah, timed exclusive
Yes,
on there.
exactly.
I can see that. That's a good prediction.
The rumor mill is that PlayStation's about to acquire another Japanese studio, so I don't know which one it could be.
Yeah, that one feels the most likely of the studios. Maybe Square, but that's big. Konami's more in that price range.
I think Capcom's too big.
Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than Konami as far as gaming division goes. I mean, if Konami sells, they're just selling the games.
Right, so
Yeah. Cole, what's your 3?
My 3 is Starfield will be delayed.
Ooh,
Until
that's
next year.
actually that's pretty bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They called their shot.
They did, and they did it on like the anniversary of whatever it was, a Skyrim release.
No.
So yeah,
Well, maybe they felt like they needed to right then, but I think they're confident.
I think they're confident too, and I know this is out on the limb, but it'll be delayed.
All right, I like it.
I
mean,
said it
could
now.
happen.
Here, it'll be delayed.
It's the bold
As
prediction.
far as
You can thank me
my
later.
fantasy draft goes, I hope it gets delayed.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I counterpicked it. I don't know why. But I counterpicked Starfield.
Starfield.
So I hope it gets delayed.
Well, I mean, I'd rather it be delayed and be as good as it can be, but I think they'll launch it in a pretty good place because they know what launching bad is now.
Oh, yeah. Well, them pushing Halo a year out, nothing surprises me with Xbox as far as pushing
yeah.
stuff back that's not ready.
Yeah, it's good that Xbox is in control of that because they won't do like 76 did.
No.
They won't allow that. My number 3 is Mario Strikers Battle League will sell more copies than any Mario sports game other than the card games.
That's pretty bold.
I just don't know one that like it's soccer and it's in an era where more people are gaming than ever. Like it's the most popular sport on the most popular Nintendo console. I don't see why it wouldn't, beat
I really
the
hope
other
it
ones.
does outsell because even the first trailer of Strikers seems like it has more style and anything that the last 2 that we've had.
Yeah, it almost feels like Miyamoto's probably kind of mad about how much
Yeah.
liberty
Well, it
they
keeps
took
that
with those
style from
characters.
the original Super Mario Strikers. which
Oh, I see. I
love.
never played that one.
Which I love that they're actually sticking with it and having you a little bit of customization. So I hope it does sell really good. I think it will for sure outsell the last 2 that came out.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't beat Aces and Golf. But I don't know what the number 1 is right now.
I'm not sure either.
I feel like I heard Aces outsold the rest of them. Like even though it wasn't highly revered, like it sold well. But number 4?
My number 4 is I think Dying Light 2 will come to Game Pass before the end of the year.
That's a good one.
Oh,
It's
nice.
kind of a safe bet kind of
Yeah.
prediction, but
I don't know. That's a big game.
It is a big game.
Like within the year is what makes it big. Because I could see after they give it a year, maybe they've already got it in the works for next February. But within the year would be pretty big. And I think another thing that makes that a little less obvious is them buying Activision. Maybe they don't feel the need to get these other big games, but I don't know. Until that deal goes through, maybe they want to go ahead and buy.
yeah, I know
lease
that
them.
the makers of Dying Light 2 so they had so it's either like 2 or 3 years of
DLC
plan.
That could
so
be.
you put the game on Game Pass and sell a DLC. The people who are not gonna buy it may buy the DLC pass.
No, that's a fair point. Cole, number 4.
All right. My next one is Bluepoint is working on a Bloodborne remaster.
Ooh, I like that, but
Yeah.
I do think it's Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
they're working on. But I don't know. Like, I don't think Bloodborne needs it right now.
Yeah, I was thinking that
They
too.
do full blown remakes.
Yeah.
I would love to see Bloodborne get a 60 frame patch.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah.
That I mean, it still holds up pretty good, I think. But I only think I patch it like these other ones have kind of patched for next gen. But I don't think it needs a full on remake. I'd rather have Bloodborne 2 than a remake.
Dude, I'll remake you. What's up?
With Metal Gear Solid
Sorry.
or Splinter Cell coming as a remake, that's kind of interesting because
Yeah.
is pretty likely that Metal Gear Solid is the Bluepoint game next. But having both of those come out, it's like a revival of stealth games. Yeah.
Will it?
Which one do you think will sell better?
Oh my goodness!
I mean,
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid will be exclusive, but it's on PlayStation. I mean, that'll help. But I don't know. People love Splinter Cell.
Yeah, we do love Splinter Cell.
I think it is a safer bet to say Metal Gear Solid, though. It's a fun little thing to look back on.
See, I've never played Metal Gear Solid, so I would love
Me
to
either.
start it. You know,
Yeah, the only one I played was 5.
Me too.
And I didn't personally. I mean, I'm not huge on stealth games. I liked Splinter Cell, but I wouldn't say I loved them. So Metal Gear Solid 5 was a little obtuse for me, but a lot of people love it.
Never being cute.
Now you're being cute.
No, the Splinter Cell game that was the best was Conviction, where you could jump in and out, and like being unstealthy didn't ruin the mission, and you could jump in and out of cover, and they had that silhouette of where they last saw you. And then the one after that, Blacklist, was good too.
Yeah,
but
Double Agent was. Honestly, I don't think there was a bad one particularly. Just some that you prefer more than others.
Yeah.
You know, just depending on how you play. My number 4 is a new Gears of War game will be announced, and the release date will be October 2023. Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
Gear 6.
See, I didn't want to. I'll buckle it down to Gear 6, but I feel like it could end up being like a spin-off. I don't know. It just has this weird feeling around it, like they're not wanting to specifically do Gear 6. So I could see a spin-off, some kind of spin-off Gears game.
And then we'll find out which ending is canon.
Yeah, I'm ready for it too. I can't wait. But yeah, I'll say Gear 6 specifically releases in October 2023.
Replaying the Gears Definitive Edition just reminds me how much I love Gears. And like, I liked 5 a lot. I mean, probably more than you liked it. I
liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it. Like, it didn't capture me like the other 3, like the first 3. 4
But I
didn't either.
I like Kate. I think she's cool. But I like JD's character. I like the tortured, like he knows he f***ed up character.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I was going to ask. That's like, you know, you start off 4 playing as JD, then 5 as Kate. Well, you go to Kate. Do you think you're
Cal.
maybe
Is his
doing
name
a-
Cal?
Which I don't know who Cal is.
The friend, the black guy. I think it's
I
Cal.
don't remember.
I don't remember his name. I just
Then
remember
probably not him.
Yeah.
But no, go ahead.
Do you think you're going to play as another character, or are they going to stick with Kate as the?
I mean, they've set up Kate. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be Kate.
I think they'll stay with Kate because she's actually a pretty good character.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think her arc is.
She's my. Oh, I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Her arc's not finished. I do like JD a lot too, but I honestly am happy with the switch to Kate just because
Me too.
I don't know. I feel it was a little too obvious to just continue on with
As
Marcus's
Dom's- not
son.
Dom's,
Yeah,
Marcus's son.
Stop. Stop.
I'll also say he kind of didn't feel like like Marcus's son. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't feel it didn't make that connection for me. Like they said it and everything. But
I don't know where Gears goes after 6.
I don't know. Maybe I think the coalition could move on. That could have been a good prediction that they don't make Gear 6 and they make a
Well, I
different
think
game.
it's too big of a cliffhanger not to finish.
Yeah, that's the only reason I-
trilogy
Yeah, just
out.
finish the series out.
Yeah. I would like to see what the coalition could do otherwise. In the same
I'm not
gameplay
burnt
style.
out on Gears. It needs a change.
Yeah.
But also what story could they do? How many times can you defeat the Locust?
Right, yeah. It feels a little redundant in this one, them being back. It's not even the Locust anymore, is it? The Lambent is like a different
Yeah,
group. I don't
it's
know.
different.
Yeah.
But anyway, number 5.
All right, so I had 2 written down here, but I'm gonna go the more fun one. At Sony's press conference for E3, a new Spider-Man 2 trailer will be shown. It'll have 3 iconic villains: it'll be Kraven the Hunter, Venom, and Mysterio.
I like it. I mean,
That's
I would
a good
definitely
prediction.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good prediction.
It's a good in-depth prediction because it would have been a little too easy just to say that they'll show.
try it, yeah.
What about Rhino? Is Rhino gonna? He was in.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's been in Miles Morales and the regular Spider-Man. I mean, they'll probably use some minor
Maybe.
villains again, but
Yeah,
I think
let's
those
just
should be
bring-
the headlines.
right. Yeah.
You should just bring Paul Giamatti in to play with
Right.
him.
That's what everybody wants.
Yeah, just Paul Giamatti is as Paul Giamatti.
What I want is Peter's Spider-Man to get controlled by Venom, and you're having to
that'd be
fight
cool.
him with Miles.
Yeah,
That's playing
that
as
would-
That would be
Miles.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Black
really
Suit
cool.
Spider-Man versus Miles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That's what I want from that game is that it to be an integral thing that you're switching between the two, and in live combat you're switching between the two of
Yeah.
them. You know, kind of like at the end of No Way Home, where you see it's going cameras are switching between all of the Spider-Man. That'd be so cool. Like in the middle of a fight, you switch and you're doing something else with Miles.
I'll get a bonus point here. I'm gonna add in one more prediction for the Spider-Man. They will tease Spider-Gwen, but it won't fully say
Yeah.
it. It won't fully show it, but
Yeah.
they'll tease it.
How confident are you on her being a playable part of the game?
I don't think she'll be playable. I think
At
it'll
all.
be kind of like Miles in the
At
first Spider-Man. They'll kind of tease it. You know, well, they didn't really tease. Miles was in the first Spider-Man, but you didn't play him as Spider-Man. But I think they'll kind of do that with her and set her up to get a spin-off like Miles did.
Yeah, I don't want it to be another Spider-Verse thing. So like it would.
I don't
feel
think
weird.
I don't think it'll be Spider-Verse. I think it'll just be. I don't know
Yeah,
how
she
they'll
could
do
just
it.
be there. Yeah, in that one. That's interesting though.
Yeah.
Number 5, Cole.
All right. My number 5, the one I'm least confident about, Dead Island 2 will finally get a release date. And
That's
it will
definitely the
never
boldest.
make it to the release date.
Again.
Yeah.
What year was that shown at E3?
Oh, like 2014.
And it
It's
was
been
cool.
a long time.
Yeah, it was a cool trailer. It was a guy running. Right?
Yeah, there's a guy
Yeah,
running,
we know.
jogging, and like there's zombie mayhem going on
Yeah.
behind him.
I don't think it'll come out anytime soon. 'Cause
I don't
No,
think
no,
it's
no.
ever going to come out.
I think it'll get a release date, but like I said, it won't ever make the release date.
Nah, I think it's canned. I think we'll never see that game again.
Let's go ahead and just rank
That's a good
all
point, too.
zombie games.
Hey, we do need to make that video though. That'd be a fun one, really. Okay, my number 5 is BioShock 4 officially will be announced, and the release date will be this year.
Ooh.
All right, what do you think the setting's going to be?
Oh, that's tough.
Exactly. That's the best part of speculation on BioShock.
I'm gonna say it's like in the middle of the ocean, but not underwater, like an island. That's what I've heard some people
Kinda
speculate on.
jungly, kinda?
Yeah, like a
Utopia on
a
an
secluded island that maybe is cut off from the world. You know, whatever.
Yeah. So they did in air, they did underwater, and they did space with Prey. I don't think they'll do space again with BioShock.
No.
So
I
yeah, the
wouldn't want
island's
that.
dope.
Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, it's kind of lame compared to being underwater and all, but it
Like
could
a
be good.
mountain, like underground mountain.
Yeah, as long as they. I mean, I don't care where it is.
I wouldn't mind it going
with
back
that
underwater
game.
with today's graphics and stuff.
Right,
Like going
yeah.
underwater again would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if they
but-
did a Rapture too.
but yeah, anything. Like,
Yeah,
New
I
Rapture.
don't even need to be tied to
I like that.
other Bioshocks at all. I just.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
But how are they going to make the story? Because the stories with BioShock are that they're all connected.
I don't think they were really
Loosely.
connected till 3.
Well, right. 3 was loosely there. Like,
2 wasn't like
2 was connected.
This
to
one could be as loosely
Well, yeah.
connected as Infinite was to the other
Yeah,
ones, and I'm
yeah.
fine with that.
Yeah,
like they could have the lighthouse.
I think
that
Bioshock
they
should
all-
just be the name, but like you don't have to. Kind of like Final Fantasy, it doesn't have to
Right,
be
yeah.
intertwined. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like loosely themed,
Yeah.
not like
Again, just the lighthouse type thing. Like it's
Yeah.
all happening in the same world, sorta, but like you don't think about it too hard.
yeah.
So we got a quick review here. Olli Olli World. It's a side-scrolling platform skateboarding game. It's basically a cartoony skateboarding version of the Trials games, like at first glance. But I think it's more layered than that because it also reminds me of like games like Celeste, like fast twitch reaction platformers, except for this one makes you go forward. There's no stopping to think about what you're going to do next. And that helps it in a way. You're constantly in this kinetic flow of gameplay. And I think anyone that likes a game like Trials will like it for that because you're constantly focused. You get in this zone. And I commend them for how well they made that feel, like you're being in the zone, the flow state of that game. But it also hurts it in the sense that the checkpointing, it's got to be tough to checkpoint that game. Because it's built around inertia and you going fast to make these gaps when you're grinding and stuff. I'm going to go through and break down the visuals and the audio and the story a little bit, but I wanted to get out in the front. And the main thing I don't like about it is that sometimes it can be so frustrating and interrupt the fun you're having because the checkpoint is set at a place where you can't really build up the momentum to get it. Like I've gotten through areas almost completely to where I'm at the next checkpoint and I just miss an input, just that's on me. And it was pretty easy. But whenever the checkpoint kicks in,
You've lost that momentum.
I've lost that momentum. And then I struggle on this spot that was pretty easy for about a dozen times. And then that kind of just takes away from what that game is, which is all about the fast paced energy of it. But it isn't like, it's not a deal breaker because you can always get, like, they didn't put it in a place where you just have to restart the whole thing. You can get it. You just have to try it more times than you would have. Visually, it's not like groundbreaking. I mean, you wouldn't expect it from a game like that. Like, it is what it is. It's easy on the eyes, is what I can commend it for. Like, you can look at it for. I've played it for like 3 hours straight. It's just really easy to look at. And there are interesting things in the levels, like the backgrounds are really neat. Even though you're flying through them, you're still noticing things enough to where, like you're glad they're there. I don't personally like the character design. They're going for this weird, funky, gnarly, like they use Narvana and all this. Like it's this
oh yeah,
the goofier side of skateboarding, which I don't want it to be dark like Bam Margera stuff, obviously, but it didn't really work for me. It was just kind of corny. And that goes into, I'll talk about the story a little bit with that, is because everything feels like that in the story, like this corny Radlandia, Nirvana, you know, and so what these people are saying, I don't care. And it would help if it was voice acted, but it's all text boxes of just these weird, like they just change the audio a little bit, and they're not actually speaking English. It's just, you know, a little bit of sound like they do in a lot of games. But I tried reading them at first, and I just don't care about what they're saying, so it's kind of just a gap in between me playing each level. But they did give you the option that every time they start talking, it's actually funny. Your character gets 2 buttons to press. You can press A and listen to what they have to say, or you can press B and he'll say some smart ass thing like, "Nah, I want to skate." Yeah. Or like he'll always like just basically you're a dick.
Yeah.
You just skip straight to what you're doing.
That sounds like a button for me.
Yeah. But I'd say the onboarding of the game is a problem because the first world, like area, is basically tutorial, which wouldn't be a problem too much if it was streamlined. But the first one is like, this is how you ollie. You pull down the stick and release, and you ollie. Here, ollie 10 times. And then the next level, it's like a really easy, way too easy level that just has some things you got to ollie over. And then you do that for every little thing you learn through that first area. And it was at least an hour of just learning minute things. I was like, this game's too easy. It's not really holding my attention. I'm glad I stuck with it because once you get through all of these things and they throw in stuff like, well, you get grinding pretty early on and grab tricks that make you go through certain obstacles, and then wall riding, which adds another layer to it. But once all of those things are introduced, and manualing's another one. Manualing's big. You have to have that to get down like long staircases. Then you got all of these things you got to be aware of, these inputs. And you feel good when you're able to string it together. Like you jump off a grind and you got a wall ride and then jump off of that to manual. And it's like, that's where the beauty of that game is, and that's why it's pretty well stuck with me. I haven't completed it yet. I'm in the 4th of what I think to be 5 areas, but I do plan on finishing it because it keeps your interest. That's some games, they may not elevate themselves in terms of like thinking about them all the time, but when you're playing them, you're happy to keep playing the next level, and that's what I say about that game. If I had to give it a number, before I move on, audio, it's kind of both ways. The music is fine. It's not memorable at all, but it's also not annoying and grating, and there's enough variety in it that, you know, you can live it. But the sound effects 100% resonate with what you're doing. If it didn't have the good audio that it does, then grinding and everything, like it's an extension of that. Like it really makes you feel like you're, I mean, obviously it's a side scroll, so you don't feel like you're doing it, but it's an extension of you. Hearing that really connects you to it. But I'll give that a 10, honestly. For what it is, it's perfect audio design on that. But yeah, if I'm going to give the game a number, it's like a solid 8 because it does a lot of really good things, and it's a good game to just pick up and play, but you can also stick with it for a while at a time. It's a perfect riding in the car game. We were riding home from Gatlinburg, and I played that for a few hours and really had a good time with it. But yeah, it has some downsides. Some people may not be as bothered by it as I am, but the checkpoint system could have been a little better. Yeah.
And it's on
Switch?
On
everything, I believe. But yeah, I got it on Switch because we went on this trip.
Yeah.
But it feels like a game that'll come to Game Pass, so I'd probably say just look out for it there. Yeah, because Olli Olli was on Game Pass, the original
How much
one.
is it retail right now?
30, which this is what I was thinking about when I was thinking about this review. I don't know, like, because every level has these really hard, high skill ceiling things you can do, like beating points and certain objectives that take a lot of runs to do. I don't know if I give that credit for hours, like, because I don't really want to do it. Like,
a lot of the unlockables are behind those, right?
Not all of them, but a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Like, the best ones are behind beating all of the local skaters' scores on that, which it's fun enough to try and do, but I never find myself trying to get all 3 of the local skater scores beat, because it's kind of annoying. Like, I mean, it's fine. It's another thing that adds some value to the game.
Kind of replayability.
Yeah, but I went through it pretty fast. I probably played about 10 to 12 hours, and I feel like I'm near the end of the mainline game. But again, like, you got probably 2 times as much extra content if you go back and do all of that, and there are like side things where you can go and do actual side quests. I don't know if it's a $30 game, maybe 20, 25, but I think it's a perfect Game Pass game.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to try it now because I sucker for skateboarding games. And then you said the audio. The audio is such a big part in games that we don't think about, especially me. Like, when I started hanging out with y'all and y'all go in depth on like what game has the best like soundtrack and stuff. I never thought of it, but it does make a difference. And even the noises themselves, like to make a grind feel good, you got to have the noise,
right,
and like the impact and everything down.
Yeah, otherwise you're just pushing a button input, and like, I mean, you get the vibration, but like the sound is what makes your mind connect with the thing you're doing.
Yeah.
And it does it really well in this game. And it needed to. Some games can get away with it being a little off and you're still fine, but this game's all about how it feels in your hand. But yeah, I'd say that's a perfect game for you, Cole, because you like the Trials games and you like skateboarding, and it's really easy pick up and play. But it can be annoying with the certain areas of really high skill ceiling.
Well, I'll just get good.
So Eric came up with a fun episode closer that we've decided to call The Name of the Game.
The rules of this game is I'm going to name a game title, and y'all are going to summarize what you think it's about.
Okay.
And I'll read the summary.
Oh, is it games that we haven't played yet?
No, none of them.
Are they not real games?
No, they're real games. They were made, and you can buy them today, but
Oh,
I don't
they're
think
like
y'all played them.
shovelware
Yeah,
games?
yes.
Okay, that sounds fun.
And I want you to just tell me what you think the game's about.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start with the first one I have. This one's called The Last Guy.
The Last Guy.
Oh, I got it. It's like The Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's an action hero, and a kid comes along, and I've already lost the plot. I don't. A kid comes along and tries to get him to rekindle his fire for being a hero.
You went really deep on that. I think this is just The Last Guy. Like it's I'm picturing a black and white game with just a little white character with very little detail. He's just the last guy. And everything that he's facing is not people. Like it's just he's in a world with aliens or it's something like that. It's either aliens or it's probably zombies. It's definitely a zombie game, and he's the last remaining human, and he's got to do something to bring back humanity.
I think it's a platformer.
Yeah, oh, for sure. This is a side-scrolling game.
There you go.
For sure.
Yeah, final answer.
Okay. The Last Guy was only on PlayStation Online. You can only download it there.
Oh, okay.
It's a top-down rescue game where you play as a guy guiding civilians out of a monster-infested city.
So he's not the last guy.
Definitely. It's not the
Misleading title.
I wasn't that far off, though.
No, you were
like
close.
monsters.
When you started saying zombies, I was like, oh, God.
I said aliens.
Near it, dude.
All right. I got another one. This one is called Dark Summit.
Dark Summit.
Ooh, okay. Mountain climbing game.
What's the goal?
To get to the top of the mountain, duh.
Oh, okay.
Naturally. I think this has nothing to do with climbing mountains. I think this is a really bad horror game. Like,
Oh, that could be it.
yeah, I think it's.
A first-person mountain climbing.
I'm
horror
gonna
game.
say like a Dark Summit. Like I'm picturing like a Yeti game. Maybe the Yeti's after you. What kind of game is it? First person. I don't know. Yeah. It's best bet is it's a crappy first person horror game, and I'm gonna say it's a Yeti that's after you.
Dark Summit it was on the PS2, Xbox 360 era. Is a snowboarding simulator.
Oh, good God! Dark Summit. Why?
Yeah.
What? That doesn't make me want to
Yeah, I
play.
know.
Snow.
Damn, I thought it was a mountain climbing simulator.
I couldn't have gotten further in the weeds.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
wanted to.
I love this because I like just letting y'all ramble and then telling you what it is. All right, the last one I got here this was on the original Nintendo system. This one's called Kirby's Avalanche. So as we're going with the mountain theme here.
Okay.
So it's a Kirby game.
Mm-hmm.
Side scroller, platformer, Avalanche. I'm gonna go crazy with this one,
Remember, this is on the Nintendo system.
as I do. I'm a crazy guy. He is a ski patrol rescue guy. He goes to the mountains and just rescues skiers. And he's Kirby, and he has to like suck all the snow up from avalanches and spit it out.
This is a Kirby snowboarding game. That's all.
That's it?
That's it.
Kirby's Avalanche is the Western release of Super Puyo Puyo from Japan. It's just a puzzle game where you're matching blocks.
Damn it!
Lord.
My game where he's a ski rescue guy
Kirby
is
in
way
it?
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume.
It's kind of like, they did the Super Mario Bros. 2. They just took the characters out. And
Oh.
that's all I got.
I was
for-
so confident that you just threw this in here as the actual game. Like, it was just what it sounded like. But instead, it was a loophole.
No, that's all I got for this week, but I do like this.
Yeah, I definitely want to do more of this.